Hello guys, this is the Writer Gamer 06. How's everyone doing today? Today is a movie review. I haven't done it in a long time, but before I get my today's review, subscribe to my channel if you are new here. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, give it a thumbs up for me. It does help me out a lot. Now, I mentioned yesterday, this was supposed to be yesterday's video, but I had a rant about Amazon, about what they did with Comixology. Uh, I'll be sure to put a link down in the description box if you guys missed that video. So today I'm doing a movie review, and I'm so sorry that this is late because this came out in November of last year, and that is Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. Yes, I finally watched it. I actually bought this on Saturday, and I watched it that Saturday night. Now, of course, I don't do videos on Sundays, so I decided to do it on Monday. But then, with the incident with Amazon, I had to make a video on that. So now I'm doing a review on this. Again, I apologize for being so late. Uh, if you're new, if you did not know why I did not see this movie in theaters, was because it did not come into my theater. They didn't show it. They had to they played it the next town over, but I didn't have anyone to go with, and I didn't want to go by myself, so I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna wait till it comes out on DVD, and it finally did. So yeah, I finally watched it. If you don't know, this is a reboot. It does not connect to the other Resident Evil movies. And here's the inside. It's just the disc. I mean, I did bought this brand new at Walmart. So I'm gonna read the back. It says one of the best films in the entire Resident Evil franchise. Fun, frantic, and frightening in the best way by Rosie Knight Nerdist. Raccoon City was once a booming home of pharmaceutical giant Umbrella Corporation. Is now a dying Midwestern town. The company's exodus left the city a wasteland, with great evil brewing below the surface. When that evil is unleashed, a group of survivors must work together to cover the truth behind Umbrella and make it through the night. Okay, so it's rated R, obviously. Um, for strong violence and gore and language throughout. So I have mixed feelings for this movie. It does feel more like Resident Evil to me than the previous movies. Not kind of the CGI, but the one with, the character Alice, played by Mila. Uh, this feels more like Resident Evil. The good thing, I'm gonna say the good things first, the pros, and then I'll get with the cons here in a minute. The pros, like I said, it does feel like Resident Evil. The environment, right off the bat, you can tell it's because it had the orphanage. If you guys played Resident Evil 2 remake, if you played Claire's scenario, you visit a new area, the orphanage, which was never in the original Resident Evil 2, but that's in here. And the rack of the police station, the layout, at least the main hall, is just like the remake. So that was cool. And if you look right there, it's Lisa Trevor. Now, of course, it was in the trailer, so I knew she was in the movie. And Lisa Trevor, I don't know who plays as her, uh, looks just like Lisa in the game, original one remake. Uh, so that was really neat how they add her to it. Uh, there's one they got a few Easter eggs. Two I think on my head, Jill sandwich in this, which was yeah. And then one part within the mansion section where Albert Wesker was playing the Moonlight Sonata, another nod from the first Resident Evil game. I liked that. That was really cool. Uh, but here's a con. They squished two games in one. Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2. Why they did this is beyond me. I don't know why they did that. It made it weird. I mean, it says Boulder Record City, so your first thought, okay, it's based on Resident Evil 2 and maybe possibly 3. Yeah, no, it's the mansion incident, in the Arklay Mountains and the Raccoon City outbreak is happening at the same time. It was very weird. I think that was a huge mistake on their part. I mean, it didn't make any sense. What I really didn't like the movies was some of these actors. Uh, Mainly this guy, Leon. Yeah, he's got the outfit, but that does not make him Leon. He looks more like Carlos from 3. Why couldn't he just play as Carlos? Not only he doesn't look like Leon, he's a terrible, terrible actor. I'm sorry to say that. I am not familiar with him. I'm sure he played in some TV show, and maybe he was good in that. He did not act like Leon. They ruined Leon's character. Because Leon is my favorite character in the whole franchise since I was a kid, you know. He has always been my favorite character, and they ruined him in this movie bad. Uh, and this girl, that's Jill Valentine. Once again, looked nothing like Jill Valentine. Although her acting was better than him, but nevertheless, no, it's not Jill Valentine. No, I'm sorry, it's not. And of course, you got Claire. She was decent, in my opinion. Uh, she got the red jacket. I mean, you could tell it's the remake version, of course. Her acting was decent. It wasn't as bad as Leon's. Uh, and then this guy, I swear, when I first saw this movie just a few days ago, I thought this was Chris. It's not. This is Albert Wesker. Now you tell me, does this guy look like Albert Wesker to you? No, he doesn't. But now it's not just that, but his personality does not match the character at all. At all. He acts like a college student. He acts like he'd be like a really good roommate in college. He wasn't sinister, he wasn't serious like he was in the games. Like, really? That's Albert Wesker? This guy is probably the best one. That is Chris Redfield. He's the only one that looks and acts like the character. This guy. This guy did a good Chris Redfield. Claire was decent. Albert Wesker, what were you thinking? Leon, terrible. Jill, come on. So that's my biggest complaint. Of course, you got I can't remember the guy's name on my head. The chief Brian Irons, the police chief. If you guys play the game, you know who I'm talking about. He his character felt like he was more of a good guy. So yeah, he didn't really seem like he was corrupted. He was kind of funny, when he was briefing the Stars member, they were getting ready to take off to investigate rival team. Uh, and the mansion incident, I felt was way too fast for me. They didn't take their time to flesh it out. But again, they squashed two games in one, so they had to make it fast, I guess, because the mansion there was no hunters. They didn't go to the guardhouse to confront, giant shark and the giant, plant 42. They never go to the laboratory in this mansion. It was just a bunch of zombies, and that was it. Because apparently, the underground tunnel from the mansion to the city. So Chris and Jill ended up in the laboratory, the nest, I guess you would call it, and meets up with Leon and Claire and Sherry. And the guy, I can't remember his name. I think his name is well, I can't remember his name. He played as William Burke, and yes, William Burke is in this movie because he wasn't in the previous movies at all. He was absent, but he did in this movie. He did an okay job. I mean, you guys will know who he is. He played in a bunch of movies. I mean, he's a good actor. Uh, but the end part when he started transforming was not that good. I mean, if you guys play the game, the monster, transformed a lot. But yeah, and the CGI, it was. I heard a lot of bad things about CGI. Me personally, it wasn't too bad. Uh, if you guys watched the first Resident Evil movie that came out, I think 2002 or '03, the CGI in that movie was terrible, especially the liquor, terrible. This one wasn't too bad. The zombies, I was actually disappointed in the zombies. They didn't. I mean, you can see it right there. That's one of the zombies in the mansion right there. Uh, it's just the sound they made was more like a screech, and they kind of sound like hunters. Like it made no sense to me. They weren't that scary to me at all. There were a few scenes where the zombies did look good, but for the most part, they could have done a better job on the zombies. I mean, look at The Walking Dead. That's the zombie effect was way better. So I'm not sure why how they screwed that up in this one. Uh, if they made it where the zombies look how they did it in the Resident Evil 2 remake, they look way better. So the zombies could have been better. Uh, yeah, if you play the first two games, then you already know the story in this movie. It's the same, you know. It's just they merged two stories into one. That's the only difference. But don't get me wrong, I don't regret my purchase. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, so I will add this to my collection, of course. So, uh, there's been rumored, I think they're planning on making a sequel. From what I've read somewhere, I think it's gonna be based on Resident Evil 4. It may be Code Veronica, I don't know. And that's another Easter egg that I have to point out. There's a video if you guys play Code Veronica, there's a video that Claire watches, and it shows the twins, the the uh, the Ashford twins, Alfred and Alexia. There's a video of them when they were kids, and he's plucking the wings off a dragonfly and putting the body in a bucket full of ants. That part was in the movie, so I was glad to see that. I was not expecting that. So, like I said, I love the Easter egg in this movie. They did a good job. So, but it's just the actors, they could have picked a better actor to play the characters. Leon was just terrible, terrible. Uh, they made him wimpy. I didn't like that. No. So, hopefully with the sequel they'll make it better, but who knows? But that's my thought on this movie. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Again, this is the Ranger Gamer 06. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.